Previously on Balls.
As we all know, Majuro will go from Kaizer Chiefs to Orlando Pirates, despite the so-called gentleman's agreement stopping movement between the two Soweto Giants. Tim Sukazi, is that you?
That's me, Neal Collins. How are you?
Hi, Timmy. I'm so glad I got hold of you today. Tim, there are, I think, in this country, two major questions to be asked in this transfer window as we wind down to the last 48 hours of what for you has been a frantic transfer window, often successful. We've spoken to Glenn Binkin about Killer and Perla going from, Sundowns to Kaizer Chiefs. Now we've got this enormous situation with Majuro where you are in exactly the same situation where the feeling is that Orlando Pirates, will take him when his contract finishes at Kaizer Chiefs, at the end of the season. But everyone, especially Orlando Pirates, with these 5 games in hand, are hoping that Majuro can get to Orlando in the next 48 hours and boost Roger Desar's attempt to take them from the bottom to the top. Well, bottom to about third, I think it'll be, when they catch up with Kaizer Chiefs. What's the latest news, Tim, please?
Yeah, Neil, you're so right. It's been a frantic start for me, actually, for the year, actually.
Yeah.
Going forward from now, yeah. So anyway, coming to, obviously, the leading story in my life has been this Majuro situation. What a debacle, what a story. But exactly where we are right now, Chiefs and Pirates are talking. In fact, this discussion started 6 hours ago, at least. And it's pretty much good, that Majuro will cross over now, as opposed to in the new season in July this year. So he'll cross over to Orlando Pirates, and it's been a protracted situation, and what informs it, I think, is pretty much obvious, because it doesn't happen every day that we come across a floor-crossing situation, involving these two arch rivals.
Yeah.
So therefore, the Majuro situation, was never going to be easy for everyone involved. So, but the two clubs now, sanity is somewhat prevailing, and the two clubs are hard at work, and they are working hard with a view of achieving the main target of helping Majuro move across now, meaning prior to the 31st of January 2014.
So it's next 24 hours. I can quote you as saying, sanity is prevailing, Chiefs and Pirates are working hard to move Majuro now in the next 24 hours.
Absolutely. So, sanity indeed is prevailing. And in fact, I can go in so far as saying the situation looks like a 99.9%.
Mate, that's exactly what we want to hear. My feeling for both Impela and Majuro is that they are two of our top strikers. We don't have great strikers in the PSL, in my view. We've got a couple of guys who can stick the ball away, but few better than your man Majuro when he's on top form, when his hair's blazing, and when he's confident. He can get 15, 20 goals a season, I believe, with the right support and the right backing, not just from the players around him, but the coach. I've got this feeling that Roger Desar can get the best out of him. You're telling us that it's 99.9% sure that within the next 48 hours, Letlanola Majuro will become an Orlando Pirates player.
Yeah, indeed. Look, of course, this is a matter between the two clubs, but as you can imagine, I'm somewhat involved in driving the situation from the background, or rather behind the scenes. And the indications as of Friday, in fact, last week, were pretty much good in favor of Orlando Pirates. So, and, Kaizer Chiefs being the club that they are, it is really not their style. And never it was their intention to stifle the boy and let him hang around at Timberlake Stadium or Sports Complex, training by himself for the next 6-7 months until he kicks the ball in an official fixture in and around August next year. This season for Orlando Pirates, this season that is about to start out. So it's never their intention. So they're really trying hard to let the guy go. And so is Pirates. I think they're in a fix. They're in a sort of a situation because the goals haven't been forthcoming in their last 2 fixtures or 3 fixtures. So they do need a striker like him. And Majuro, you just put your finger on it. He is your 15, in fact, or more kind of a goal striker per season. If you look back at his track record at Amazulu, in his first season, he scored 16 in all competitions. Then he jumped over to Kaizer Chiefs, he scored 15 in his very first season. I think last season he scored 11 in all, with cameo appearances in most instances. So so this season obviously has been difficult. I think now that is all documented out there. There are reasons to that, maybe or maybe not. But the fact is, he has made up. He decision, and he's moving across, and it looks good for Orlando Pirates. So the Buccaneers and their supporters might as well embrace themselves for the major. He might be landing anytime soon from now.
Tim, I love to hear that. You've done a great job because there was enormous controversy. There were a couple of deals, whether the Manyama deal and then the Majuro deal announced by the clubs and then revoked. Has Majuro actually had any contact with Roger Desai yet?
No, certainly not. Every clubs they operate differently, and you can understand every house has got its own rules and manner of doing things. Yeah. So at Pirates it doesn't happen too often that the coach becomes involved in the initial stages of deal making that we see a player joining his club. Yeah. And even when it gets to an advanced stage, the coach doesn't necessarily get involved. The coach does get involved, or rather, when he starts getting involved is when the guy starts lacing his boots and coming into the field. So Roger Desai hasn't been in contact, but clearly he has been reading what's going on, and I think he himself has gone and so far as endorsing this player, Majuro. So I'm sure where he's sitting right now, and crossing his fingers that this deal happens now rather than later.
Yes, I know he is. What you can say to Majuro is that, South Africa works that way, doesn't it? In England, the coach gets involved at quite an early stage. We saw those 3 new Pirates lads come in last week. Roger didn't really know them, but I know that Roger is keen on Majuro. He thinks he's a good player. He wants him in his side. Collins and Basuma are a little bit heavy at the moment. Lennox Patel are not doing that well. He tried the new lad Palembe, didn't he? And it didn't. It worked all right. They won, but desperate to get Majuro in. I used to be a little bit intimidated by Roger, but actually, you know what? He's a lovely bloke, and you can tell Majuro that. And I can't wait to see Majuro in the black and white and scoring goals. All we want, all of us, is to get Majuro away. As you say, he's training on his own still, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and it doesn't do any good to him and his obviously career, Yeah. And generally, then this goes further to affect, I think, our national team. I think, it's not now we just play the Chan and he was not part of it. Not that his absence of Kaizer Chiefs has caused that, no, or him training by himself, no. I mean, I don't think he was going to be called into the national team because he hasn't played so much so in this season. But still, I mean, if you've got the best, majority is very best for his club and, of course, thereafter for his national team, then, it will go a long way in helping our country. Exactly. Achieving the better rankings and FIFA rankings and so forth. So Majuro is one player who needs to play football very soon, I think, for the benefit of everyone, every stakeholder in the game.
Good, and he's fit and he's ready to go, and if he was to play for Pirates, say against Wits, is it on Monday, he'd be ready to start straight away, would he?
Well, I wouldn't say so.
I'm just saying if.
Yes, I would imagine so. If he's fit, if he is, I'm sure Pirates or their technical team would want to do an assessment of him and take a decision as to whether or not he's ready to play in an official fixture after having not been playing for some time, So that's a call that they will make. Yeah. But at least I think they'd be very satisfied to land his signature. I mean, land him formally. His signature they've got, but now only the man has to cross over and join them. Yeah. So, it remains to be seen, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, well done on rescuing this situation. It all looked a bit jumpy and up in the air, didn't it? When you emailed me that kind of statement on Majuro before, and you were absolutely right. Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs can move players between clubs. Gentleman's agreement or not, you've done it. We're on the verge of I think what will be one of the biggest transfers for a long time in this country. Well done, mate. Any other transfers you got for us you can hint at for us in the last 48 hours, or has this one consumed you completely?
No. Certainly not. I think, we obviously there's a no Mandela situation between Sundowns and Free State Stars. I think if they're able to find each other, he might cross over to Sundowns now or maybe later. Yeah. They are also hard at work trying to see if he can join Sundowns earlier, meaning now in this transfer window. But that's not really a big one. Either way, Mandela, I think, would be happy just to get on and play football, whether it's Sundowns or it's Free Stars for now until the end of the season. Yeah. And I've got a young lad, Samsung Ate, he's a centre half at Amazulu. Yeah. His contract is coming to an end, so a few clubs are looking at him, and we might come with a surprise move now, if all goes according to plan. And, of course, if Amazulu are happy, I think we might land up somewhere, in the next 48 hours. So, we hard at work, working towards that, and all now it remains to be seen.
Great stuff, Tim. So you, like all the other agents, frantically busy at the end of the window. Just in summary, you can tell us that Majuro, Chiefs and Pirates are talking. They're not fighting. They're trying to get the Majuro situation sorted out before the transfer window closes in about 48 hours. And you're looking at a situation where possibly Majuro could be part of this Orlando Pirates bottom to top situation, all these games in hand, and he could be the spearhead for Orlando Pirates over the next 5 months.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, it now has gone beyond the talking point. Chiefs have gone as far as sending written correspondence to Orlando Pirates, by the way.
Good.
So that's how advanced this matter is. Yeah. And if Pirates does play the ball and not the man, or hopefully, this thing will happen. Let's wait and see.
Great stuff, Tim. So glad you could talk to us on such a busy day. It's good of you to speak to us. Good luck with Majuro. Cool, wouldn't it be great if he scored 10, 12 goals in that run into the season and we have like Wits, Chiefs and Pirates all up there at the end of the season? That's how I see it. Good stuff, mate, and thanks a million.
Thanks a lot, Neil, for having me. Thanks so much, and all the best for you and your followers, for the new year going forward.
Good stuff, Tim. Thanks, mate. Good luck. So there we got it, as promised. Glimbinkin on Mpela, Tim Sukazi on Majuro, the two big transfers, the two big strikers. We don't want them sitting out, training on their own for 6 months before they move, according to their pre-contracts. We want Killer Mpela at Kaizer Chiefs. We want Leslonolo Majuro at Orlando Pirates. We want a great finish to the season. And can Bidvest Wits or Amazulu or anyone else keep with the Soweto Giants as we head towards the end of the season? Can Sundowns, having lost Mpela, challenge for the title?
Visual radio.
Radio like you've never seen it before.
Balls.co.za